Chart. I'm your host, VanVleet. Today we are watching Fred VanVleet's 13 assist performance against the LA Clippers. Now, the reason I want to make this video is because there is this lingering notion that Fred is a selfish player, that, he's a shoot first player, and that he's a ball hog. And I just, for the life of me, don't understand that idea because it's just not backed up in either the film or the data. In terms of usage rate, how many possessions does Fred use when he's on the floor? He's 47th in the NBA among guards. All right, so that means that he's clearly not taking that many shots. And then if in terms of his passing, when he drives, which I know is a big issue for a lot of people, that Fred drives and then he gets blocked. And that's fair, right? His finishing at the basket could be better. Obviously, him being 6 foot, not that athletic, is going to lead to a lot of shot blocks. But Fred VanVleet is #1 in the NBA in terms of passing out of his drives. He passes out of 60.6% of his drives to the basket. That's #1 among guards. And that is, just a fact. Now, what we're going to see in this game is Fred VanVleet just excelling as a playmaker. Obviously, there was no Kyle Lowry today, and there was no Malachi Flynn in the starting five. So Fred was the main playmaker, and he made a number of players better. Yeah, classic fast break. First off, really good defense by Stanley Johnson here. We're going to see is that the Raptors are going to trap this high pick and roll. And then Reggie Jackson's going to throw this pass over the top to Kawhi. Then Kawhi is going to find the roller. And we're going to just watch Stanley here. He's not going to stay still. He's not going to stay out of the play. He's going to complete the play all the way here. Stanley's going to make a beeline right to the baseline. And he's going to contest and stop Zubac, who should have had a pretty good look there. But Stanley's in position. Kem Bridges is in position too, but Kem's a little too deep in the paint. And great block by Stanley. At that point, it's just a fast break. And the Raptors kind of have numbers, but not really, right? You see all 5 Raptors here, only 3 Clippers. That means 2 Clippers are ahead of the play here. And what you're going to see is Fred is going to read the floor. He's going to turn his head really quickly to see, okay, I've got 2 guys there, basically just Pascal, and then Yuta on my right. And Fred's going to make a quick little move right there to maybe sell the drive, maybe try to split the gap. And what that's going to do is pull Reggie Jackson just over slightly, and that's going to create the lob over the top to Pascal. And yeah, this is just a nice pass. Smart pass too. I mean, obviously Pascal's way more athletic than Reggie Jackson. And if he throws it high enough, Pascal's going to go get it and finish. Just remember the alley-oop from game 2 of the Yep, another very simple play. Drive and kick situation for Pascal. He's going to attack the paint. There's not too much there, so he's going to kick it out because you see Zubac is in position to help. Pascal's going to kick it into the corner for Stanley. Obviously, no one's really going to guard Stanley that hard. You see Kawhi's not even really rotating. He's just looking at him. Stanley's going to swing it out of the corner, which is the right move here to Fred. But there's not much of an advantage because Kawhi's right there. And what Fred's going to do is he's going to drive and attack this area, if only to occupy the defense slightly, just to give Yuta more time to shoot. And that's right there. He'll drive and just get, Reggie Jackson to come over just slightly. And that creates more of an angle for Yuta to get the shot. Fred never intended to drive and shoot there. He just wanted to pull the defender over slightly. And that's really good point guard play. That just helped Yuta not only with the pass, but just to create the space. Because look how much room Yuta has to shoot. I mean, Reggie Jackson's not even involved in this picture, and Yuta's able to make the 3. It's a very all right. Another nice pass, another nice read. So the Clippers have been guarding. Listen, they've been guarding Fred VanVleet with Paul freaking George. Okay, that's not easy to do. Now, so Fred's going to come around the first screen. Paul George is going to go under. Smart play. Cut off Fred VanVleet, and then he's in good position. Then Fred's going to use that screen from Kem Burge, and Paul George is going to climb over the top. The reason for this is because Fred had made 2 pull-up threes at this point against Zubac. So, Paul George really has to try to respect and run him off the 3-point line. And then once they do that, it's a bit of a drop coverage there, right? You see Zubac is not really going to come all the way to the 3-point line. He's going to start backpedaling already. Obviously, he's very slow, and it's not his strength to play at the perimeter. And against that drop coverage, what that's going to do is when the big drops, there's going to be a big gap to throw that pocket pass to the roller, especially if the roller does a really good job of screening and putting George behind the play. And once that happens, Fred's just going to pull it out slightly, throw the pocket pass, trust the big man. And Kem Birch has done a really good job of when he's in this position, he's either going to try to finish with the floater or he's going to make the next pass over. And not either move would have been good here, but Kem Birch shows really good touch, goes up straight, little short jumper over Zubac. Good touch on that. And yeah, just a nice little read from VanVleet. Very simple, but yeah, another really nice pass from Fred. And this is what I mean. When Fred drives, he's most of the time looking to pass. Again, he's #1 in the NBA at passing out of drives. He passes out of most of his drives. So Fred's going to drive here, and you'll notice the entire defense is locked in on Fred, man. Maybe except for Paul George, who's mostly looking at Pascal, but Marcus Morris is looking at him, Reggie Jackson's on the ball, Kawhi's looking at him, Zubac is looking at him. This is a tough game because no one was really guarding Stanley, no one was really guarding Kem Birch, no one's really guarding Utah. So there had to be a lot of play creation from Pascal and Fred. And so Fred takes it out here. He's going to try to size up Reggie Jackson, get him out of position slightly, and he's going to read which side of the floor he can drive to, right? Because, you know, Jackson's sort of shading him over on this side. So there's a little bit more angle to drive against his right hand there. So he's going to attack that right side, get into the paint, and you'll see how much attention Fred is drawing at this point, man. There's like, you know, essentially 3 guys right on him. I guess that's Marcus Morris. He's also looking at Fred as well. Fred's going to draw that entire crowd to him, force his way into the middle. You know, Paul George nearly gets the swipe, but Fred is going to be able to find the open shooter. And look, listen, I mean, obviously no one was guarding Utah, but that's still a tough play to make because of the fact that Fred had to contend with so many defenders. And that's what makes this performance even more impressive is the, like, who are you? Nice, very nice. So the Raptors run this play quite often, and what they'll do is they set up VanVleet, or so they have VanVleet bring the ball up, and they'll have Pascal set up in the post here, and it's going to be a quick give and go action. So Fred's going to input the ball into the post, and then he's going to get the ball right back as he cuts through the middle of the paint. And so the Raptors run this quite often, especially between these 2 guys. The ball into the post. The ball back to Fred on the dribble handoff. And at this point, the Clippers probably have a good read of the situation. That's why you see Paul George. He's going to help down into the paint to prevent against Fred at the basket. And there's another example of Fred driving and creating something for the team. Because he's going to drive. The attention's going to be on him. And as you see everybody converging on him, he's going to sell the layup. But he's going to instead throw the little floating pass over both defenders to Kem Birch, who did a really good job of positioning. Kawhi's a little bit late to help. Obviously, he can help off Stanley here. And then Kem's wide open in the paint. Short floater once again. And again, great touch. So another great drive by Fred, which results in a bucket. Yeah, very simple play. Again, nobody's really guarding Stanley, right? And you'll see right now, late in the shot clock, the Clippers are going to trap against Fred VanVleet. And why not, right? Because this is a great opportunity to sort of limit him. The Clippers got burned by Fred quite a bit in the first half. So you'll see an adjustment here, no longer dropping from Zubac. He's going to stay committed to the 3-point line and try to trap. Also, it's late in the shot clock. It's always a smart move to trap late in the shot clock. So you'll see 2 defenders go to him. Zubac is right there. He's on the 3-point line, and Marcus Morris is there too. Kem Birch does a really good job here of just like screening a little bit for Stanley. He's gonna try to take away Paul George's ability to close out directly to Stanley, and that extra little bit of time does give Stanley some room to shoot. Now granted, Stanley's probably gonna have the room to shoot anyway, but Fred, smart pass there to find the open guy. And yeah, as you can see, nobody's really available to close out. And you know, it's Stanley shooting 3. It's not necessarily a great shot, but there's 2.4 seconds left. If you get a shot this open for anybody, that's a good result. Good point guard play. So Fred's going to come off the dribble handoff with Kem Birch. And what you're going to see right here is Pascal's going to cut through. Originally, he's at the top of the floor here, and they're going to run pick and roll. But Pascal's actually going to get himself to the dunker spot. He's going to cut straight through to this spot. Now, that's a smart move. I think the Raptors really do need guys at the dunker spot when Fred drives because, you know, he needs a dump off option. Now, what you're going to see right here is Fred's going to make the whole play right now because the Clippers have changed their defense in the second half. Instead of Zubac dropping, he's at the 3-point line. He's trying to trap. Also, Kawhi's on the ball. So what Fred's going to do is he's going to make the whole play right here by splitting that pick and roll. He's going to read that there is a sizable gap between Kem Birch and Zubac, and he's gonna bet that Zubac isn't quick enough to contain him in that situation. So it's a bit of a high gamble play in terms of just splitting the pick and roll. You never know what happens. You could turn the ball over, you can get trapped, you know, you might, you know, again, mostly you just turn the ball over. But Fred with a quick crossover right there gets super low and drops both guys. You see Kawhi's reaching, you see Zubac is reaching, but neither guy is going to get a piece of Fred. And Fred's going to turn downhill. Now the whole entire play is mostly in advantage for the Raptors now. And what you're going to see is, you know, Fred's next move is to get Paul George to commit. So you see Fred taking a little in and out dribble right here just to sort of set up the drive maybe to the left-hand side, but then he's going to try to attack Paul George. Because really, if you can get Paul George to commit to him, that means Reggie Jackson is now guarding Pascal at the basket. Pascal's going to be able to finish in that situation. So what you'll see is Fred's going to sell the drive going to his right, and he's going to get Paul George to buy on it because Paul George is turning his body. You see his right foot there, or his left foot. He's opening his body up to turn to guard against Fred, and Fred at the last second is going to do the shovel pass to Siakam. George turns his body, he's fooled, and yeah, easy 2 points for Pascal Siakam. Again, Fred's a really good passer, man. There's a lot of nuance to what he does. All right, that's very straightforward. That's just good reading of the play in transition. So the Raptors going to come down the floor. The Clippers just don't pick up their assignments here. Zubac is going to do the big man thing, which is just run straight to the paint and then react. Kawhi is first one down the floor, so he's picking up Khem Birch, which is supposed to be Zubac's man. So that leaves someone open, and that someone is Pascal Siakam. And yeah, I mean, everyone is wide open. I don't know what to say. He could have passed it to Utah here. He could have passed it to Pascal, but yeah, Pascal, easy wing pass, wide open three. Just good reading in transition by Fred. Wow. See, that's a great two-way performance from Fred right there. So you see Fred, he's the low man here as the Raptors are completely screwed in the pick and roll, okay? They tried to trap Kawhi up top, but Kawhi is able to throw that pocket pass to Zubac, who's slipping to the basket. And you look at the situation, how the hell did the Raptors not get scored on here? Because you have a 7-footer catching the ball, going to the basket. You have Marcus Morris cutting to the basket, and you have a good three-point shooting Reggie Jackson wide open in the corner. You're done. You have 4 guys here guarding Kawhi and only 1 guy guarding 3 players. And yet, Fred is able to make that play defensively. Zubac is going to take it strong to the basket. He's going to gather himself. And upon the gather, you'll see Fred's going to attack the ball, right? This is what Fred does so well. When Biggs slightly expose the ball, Fred is getting in there and ripping it away from these guys. Clean strip against Zubac. And at this point, the floor balance actually becomes in the Raptors' favor because the Raptors did have all their guys on the perimeter here and the Clippers had all their guys on the baseline. So once this turnover is happening, the transition is going to really favor the Raptors. And Fred's just going to really see that Pascal is going to beat Kawhi down the floor, and he's going to trust that, right? Kawhi is actually in line with Pascal right here, but Fred is already throwing the hit-ahead pass. He's trusting that Pascal is going to be faster. And to be honest, Pascal is faster than Kawhi Leonard, man. There's no doubt about that. So he's going to throw the pass over the top. Great pass in stride to Pascal. Pascal can take 1 dribble and go hard to the basket. To be honest, this is the pass that probably Siakam should have thrown to Khem Birch late in the game as well. But that's a great pass by Fred, showing great trust. 1 hard dribble, 1 long step, and Pascal's going to get to the basket. Tough finish over Paul George, dude. Paul is a really good defender and had a good game. Man, another beautiful pass from Fred. And again, just a good read here. So the Raptors are kind of stuck. They're trying to work a high-low feed between Khem Birch and Yuta Watanabe. That's not going anywhere, man. Good choice there by Khem not to make that play. So Fred, you can see here, he's going to cut. And he's going to cut behind Beverly. Beverly's got his head turned, and Fred's going to lose him slightly. Now, the thing is, the Clippers are smart, so they're going to switch. Immediately, Kawhi's going to see this. He's going to pick up Fred. So there's not too much of an advantage, right? You see that seamless switch there. Beverly picks up Siakam, and Kawhi picks up Fred. That's fantastic. Now, Fred's going to still come up to receive the ball from Khem Birch. And, this is one of those advantages where if you do screen, deeper in the paint rather than all the way out to the 3-point line, it does create an opportunity there. You're almost forcing the defense to drop a little bit because you're not that high up at the 3-point line. And so there's that same drop coverage that Zubac likes to be in. And Fred's going to see this, and he's going to throw that quick pocket pass once again, because once you're in drop, there's a great opportunity to hit the roller. Now, Fred doesn't hit the roller here, because if you throw a bounce pass here, it's a good chance that, you know, one of these two guys could maybe intercept it, especially Beverly is a very active defender. He could pick it off. But if Fred throws a pass over the top, and he has to, it's a harder pass for him to throw, but it's an easier time for Kem Birch to finish that play. And that's exactly what Fred does. He's going to jump and pass over Zubac. He's going to get it right to Kem Birch. And you see, you know, Beverly's locked in this whole play. He wanted to help on this situation the whole time. But instead of throwing that bounce pass, he throws the pass over the top. That's a lot harder for a short point guard to get to. And so Kem Birch, you know, 1-2 step in the lane, the athletic finish. Great pass from Fred. Great read from Fred. Perfect decision making throughout the whole possession. Yep. Another play where not a set play. The Raptors, initially they have Jalen Harris trying to drive into the paint. He's bottled up by Reggie Jackson. Harris is going to give the ball up to Fred. Fred's going to cut early, which is going to allow him to get by Paul George, because he's not going to usually get by Paul George in most situations straight up. But because Fred cut early, he's going to get around George and into the paint, right? You see that George is reacting late. And so Fred's going to get past them, and he's going to engage the defenders once again. There's 3 guys on Fred right now. You can't even see Fred. There's George, there's Jackson, there's, I think, Marcus Morris. And Fred's going to quickly turn. And good job by Harris to, once you drive, you got to space out, back out. And Harris did a good job of doing that. And then Fred with a nice pass, pivot, create the open lane. You know, a little bit short on the pass, a little bit low. Harris had to go down and reach for the ball. You can't really see it because of the scoreboard here, but yeah, good shot, good pass. And again, 1.3 seconds left, man. There's not much you can do, so that's a nice pass in the situation. And again, Fred made that whole play just by cutting early for the guy who was stuck, and that created the open kick. Another nice play. So the Clippers are in drop coverage. So they're going to get the dribble handoff. Kem Birch, nice screen on George. George is going to be, you know, going over the top of the screen. Cousins is going to drop deep into the paint here. He's never really trying to guard anybody. And the Raptors had a lot of success attacking Cousins. And so Fred's going to go downhill. He's going to try to engage. And then once he sees that Reggie Jackson is not in position to really guard, I think Reggie Jackson is not as attentive of a defender as, like, let's say a Beverly. Fred's going to be able to throw that pocket pass. And again, that pocket pass is open all the time when there's a drop coverage. And Fred's going to, you know, pull Cousins in slightly. And then a little pass to Birch after both defenders. You see Cousins and George are both falling for Fred's fake there. And that makes a wide open play for Kem Birch. Easy finish. And again, great touch on the hook shot. And then the last assist of the game was very straightforward. I don't know how he got an assist for this. I mean, I guess it is technically an assist. Pascal didn't take a dribble, but yeah, just a very simple play, inputting the ball into the post against Kawhi. Kawhi going under the screen there, which is a little lazy, I gotta say. I mean, you could fight over that screen, but yeah, Pascal with all the time in the world to shoot, and yeah, Pascal makes that. So that's an easy jumper. So look, the reason I wanted to make this video is A, I think Fred had a great game, and it was a great reason to celebrate it and break it down. But B, this notion that Fred is a guy who doesn't pass or doesn't create for others, or that he's a shoot first guard or he's a shooting guard in a point guard's body, I don't believe in any of that stuff. And it's not backed up in the film. It's not backed up in the stats. And I just don't know where this perception comes from. I understand it's annoying to see, you know, a shorter guard trying to get his shot. A lot of these situations, like Fred took 24 shots yesterday, and you might say, well, that's a lot for a point guard. I mean, that's the exact same ratio that Kyle Lowry was taking in the Laker game. This is a situation. There's not a lot of playmakers on this team. You kind of need your guards to create. And you see that Fred is more than capable of creating. He makes a lot of great reads. He plays great defense. He's a tough shot maker. He can play off the ball. But when he's on the ball, he's been really good this year as well. So, you know, good game from Fred. Unfortunately, the Raptors couldn't close and couldn't get the win. But I mean, when you're going with Utah and Stanley versus Kawhi and Paul George, you're probably not going to win many of those games. So thanks everyone for watching. If you like this program, hit subscribe on the YouTube channel. Please share it with your friends. And I'll be back on the next episode of the Raptors Shot Chart.